Hello, this is the Taster Sessions, and in this episode, we're pulling up our business socks with Sust and Doughnotts. Hello and welcome to the Taster Sessions podcast. Today we are with Doughnotts.
Doughnotts, go nuts for donuts. Whee!
Beautiful. Hello Wade, how you doing, mate?
Yeah, good.
Hey Wade.
How long have you had this whole place on premise, and how many is that?
So the building that we're in now, we got in December 2019. It's a bit of a shit story on it. We got the building in December 19. I'll take you for a look around the bakery after here, but we spent like close to 400 grand on getting the bakery how we needed it to be. It was just an empty shell. And yeah, 2 weeks into March, COVID came.
Oh no, and then just scuppered everything up.
Spent every penny.
Bless you.
Spent every penny we had.
Oh.
And yeah, so yeah, we spent the rest of 2019 and halfway through 2020 trying to figure out how we're going to get through it and stuff. But we got through it.
You're here.
And yeah, we got through it and we're here now. Like the retail and hospitality industry is still not recovered. I don't care how many statistics the government put out saying that all this is happening and everything's going to be okay. Like, it's not okay. Like, it's really tough at the minute. And Doughnotts has always made profit every single year. Last year was the first year, and one of the companies that Doughnotts owns was like negative 35k.
Oh no.
So, you know, but like this year we're getting to a point where everything's just about all right. If we don't grow, and like the idea of the company just being stagnant and not moving anywhere is just the worst idea in my mind. Like, it needs to keep growing. I want it to keep growing. It will.
Yeah. So I want your origin story. That's what I want, the origins.
So,
Taster of Wade.
So the company is owned by myself and Megan Scadden. We're 50% shareholders each. 7 years ago, I was an apprentice in marketing. Megan worked at Next. We're both on probably like 100 quid a week. And we borrowed a tenner off my grandma and granddad, and it was to put fuel in the car. And we brought some ingredients and made some donuts, and 70 staff, £2.5 million turnover.
Nice. Sorry, Grandma, but we blew the money on this.
And yeah, that's where we are now. It's not been easy. No, it never is. Like I said just previously, you know, the retail industry at the minute is really harsh, to be honest. It's really harsh. I like, you know, we talk a lot with other independent businesses in the hospitality sector in Nottingham. Everyone's kind of saying the same. Yeah,
to make sure that you're all...
Yeah, everyone's going through the same shit. Same boat. Do you know what I mean? You're not on your own with it.
Yeah.
So,
Well, the way that we do these podcasts, the taster sessions, we have usually a taste of something and then a game and a taste and a game. You're a really interesting character. So what I think we're going to do with this setup and dynamic is have a taste of you after every card. Then can we get back into a bit more about the business and what you
100%.
do?
Yeah.
Mate, are you ready for a taster of a Sust card?
Yeah.
Wait,
This is it.
We've decided today to crack open. So we've got the Inconvenient Truths, which we've not used before. So literally cracked it open.
Thank
and then
you,
we're going
Sust.
for it. Yes, Sust.
Hey, we've got a taster code for Sust, haven't we?
We have. It's the Taster Sessions.
Is that the hashtag?
Yeah, I think it is, yeah.
Okay, so if you
We'll
write
put it at
in
the bottom.
taster sessions to Sust,
Yes.
you'll get 10% off, or is it
Yes.
20? It might be 20.
It's 10%. Stop it. Naughty. Yeah, and then we've got the emotional intelligence one. So if we do it like we normally do, so we'll pick.
Pick a card. Do you want me to pick?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. Boom. Right. Wade, pick between 1 and 4 a number.
3.
Oh, I like it. Okay, you ready for this, team?
No.
Ready for it.
What is my best advice for dealing with irritating people? Is it A, have a sense of humour? B, if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all? Or C, learn to say, go away? Right, so Wade, we have to think what you'd pick, A, B or C, and then you've got to do that for us.
Yeah.
So should we look at RoRo now and think what RoRo's going to be out of an A, B and C? I think I know. I know RoRo quite well.
I think I get it. I think I get it.
I've got a good idea. Do you want to say it?
3.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go away.
100%.
Should we do Wade? Should we look what Wade's going to be?
I think.
I've got one for you.
Yeah.
I think you're a B.
What?
It's if you don't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. I think
Yeah, I
you'd
get
be
that,
a quiet observer.
Yeah.
Is that you?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, because the story he told us. That's how you got that.
Go on, pick for me.
So which one I think that you are?
We've got have a sense of humour.
I think
you
you're-
can't say.
Yeah, number 1.
Your humour, yeah, for sure.
Do you know what?
Or you go away.
I think I've changed in time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why you sent him home. Go home. Story before.
I feel I went on a course.
Yeah.
I mean, we go to the same men's circle, don't we?
Yeah.
And being in these men's circles, in these spaces, I've started really trying to respect myself a bit more as a person.
Yeah.
Because before I'd always sort of bottle things up and then passive aggressive laughter and say things. But now I'm trying to be a bit more, actually, if I don't like a situation or I don't like a person.
Do you feel like that's come with like the archetypes?
I think so.
That's
yeah.
one thing that's changed my life, changed my business.
Sound's gone.
It's okay.
There we
It's
go.
just our
We're
things.
back.
The archetypes that Dan teaches. That's something really changed for me.
It was a huge factor for me too.
Switching it on at the right moment, not being just a dick all the time or something like. Just being able to be in the moment of what the person needs to be in the moment. If that makes
Can
sense.
you remind us? Is it 4 archetypes?
Yeah,
isn't
yeah.
it?
There's magician, lover. Oh, there's another one. Magician, lover, king,
warrior.
Magician, lover, warrior, king.
Yeah.
And the idea would be to be king all the time, but you on each side of the archetypes, it's like a pyramid. The archetypes at the top, but on each side there's like the good and bad version of it. There's the king can be someone who's very, makes someone takes credit for something else that someone else has done, so it's all about him. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, the king just needs to be exactly what a king should be. Do you know what I mean?
Honest and true.
Yeah, but then being able to switch into like the lover type and stuff like that, and it just. But like the warrior type, that's something I've really brought into meetings and stuff. Like we're going through something huge at Doughnotts at the minute, and like I often, like before when I go into a meeting, I'd sit there and I'd like just go into the meeting with like a open mind and everything. If I know what the outcome needs to be for that meeting,
I'm going to go in and get this.
You fire yourself up for it and stuff like that. So,
yeah.
It's having that
It's
awareness.
objective as well, isn't it?
I was really lucky that week, the first time I went to a men's circle, just before I'd been to Liverpool and been on sort of a self-development course, and he was teaching something a little different. But then when I went to the circle, I was like, oh my God, that's the same thing, but just in a different way.
Different
so
package.
it was packaged differently.
Yeah,
but
I've noticed that when I talk to people about the archetypes, people get it because people have heard like a different version of it. Do you know what I mean? If, in like different religions and stuff, they all talk about it differently and stuff like that. Like, but when you've never heard of that before, you just think it's the 4 archetypes that this is generic across the board, and it's actually not. When you go into it, there's so much more to do than
and who you are.
Yeah.
This guy that I went to is Paul Cope, and he got us to think about all our different characters.
Yeah.
Because we always made ourselves to think we're crazy that we've got different characters.
Definitely not.
Actually, it's like, no, every situation warrants a different version of you.
Yeah.
So it made us go into like the real childhood traumas and everything we've been through, but what characters have branched through them experiences that you've had. So then I wrote down all these different characters, and just having that conscious awareness of, oh, this one's at play now, or when this situation happens, this comes through forward. And then from all that, I was working it out, and it was a really interesting time for me. Went to the men's circle, and this just coexisted.
It's mad, isn't it?
And then I was like, right, I
It's
feel
a sign, innit?
I've been
Like,
fixed. I'm all right now.
That's the thing I found with the men's circles and stuff. Like when you come away from, like when I went to the retreat and when I come away from it, I felt like a sense of like pure peace and like, but it only took me 3 days to fall back into the old me. But it's in fact, it's not about being like that all the time.
No.
Yeah.
You know, Dan will openly admit that, you know, he studies this is his life's work, but he will always fall into being a little bit
you will, because it's part of you,
yeah. And he's just like, the thing for me is like I'm working a lot with Ali, you know, Ali. So like friend. I was PTing with him, but just because my schedule is so crazy at the minute, I just can't get the time to. And you know, Ali's really, really good at mindset creation, like creating your own mindset and stuff like that. And because that's the hardest thing for me. Like I have 2 hours of counselling a week. I go to the men's circles. I spend so much money on my mental health. Yeah. But sometimes it just don't work, because I think the thing is like now with the mental health thing, it's like from what I see across Instagram, it's like, you know, you should be happy, you got this, you got that. Like, you're allowed to feel like shit.
No, you shouldn't be anything. You should be exactly what you are at that time.
I saw this TED talk, and it was a clip of this TED talk of this woman, and she was like, when you're crying and when you're sad and when you feel terrible, everyone's like, you know, feel better. Like, you should, you know, look at all the good things you got going on for your life and everything like that, and trying to get you out of that. But when you're happy, no one's ever turning around going, you shouldn't be that happy. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
You have to experience the shit to experience the good.
The highs and
and
lows.
Everything's temporary. Yeah. Like Tom Hanks says, like, this too shall pass. And that's a good thing with a bad thing and a good thing. So whenever I get like a really high moment in life, I'm like, oh, it's going to pass. Yeah. And, you know, same as bad stuff that's happening. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, we've had a bit of bad stuff happening at work lately. But I've always, instead of letting it consume me, I've always just kind of gone, right, it's
pass. It's a journey. It will go. Like, you'll come out the other end of it.
This is my God's honest truth with my life. I have a series of terrible events, like huge terrible events, but something always massive happens at the end that's amazing. And I know I go through the shit because I know when I get to it, something big will happen.
Yeah,
like,
no, that's true.
We've just made a big decision with the company and stuff like that yesterday, but I can talk about that as we get further down.
Yeah, it's like karma payment. That's I'm like, okay, if I get all this, I get the nice stuff at the end. Yeah, no, I hear you.
RoRo.
Yes.
How lucky am I that I get to hang around these sort of people?
Very lucky.
In a little circle.
I know. I'm going to start a women's one.
I feel very supported by
it's going to be in a big hoop.
Do you want to take Wade now and take him on a direction of the mind? Talk about the business?
Yes.
Go on,
okay.
Ask a question.
So, I want to know why you decided to call it Doughnotts. No, actually, what I want to know is, where do you get the inspiration for your flavours? Do you ever choose things that you just like yourself, or do you look at what other things are and you kind of go, oh, that could be popular?
You kind of like, so with the flavours and stuff, we kind of go off the back of what people already like.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Like, people like Nutella, people like Biscoff. You know, you're guaranteed to put any sort of chocolate bar on a donut or in a donut.
Them.
People are going to go mad for it. Things like we do, like lemon meringue donuts, eat and mess donuts. These are already like desserts that the marketing's already been done.
Have you ever thought about doing one that's just like completely bonkers crackers out there?
Yeah, so we did one. So yeah, like when was it? Fucking hell, it was a couple of years ago.
What was it?
Yeah, we just took on.
I know. Roast beef and gravy donut.
So we had a I think it was like 2019. We employed a marketing manager. And
he's bonkers.
And I was always doing the socials and everything like that. And it was back when Instagram was free, and like you'd put a post up to your 60,000 followers and 60,000 people would see it. Do you know what I mean? And it's not like that now.
The good old days.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, we should do this donut. And I was like, we should put like gherkins on it and stuff. And I made it, and it was salted caramel gherkin. And we tried it in the bakery, and it was so good. Yeah. And I was like,
yeah, because it's salty. I think I can see how that works. I like gherkins.
And I sent it over to him, and I was like, we need to put this on socials tonight. Like, this will be amazing marketing campaign. And he was like, yeah. It was like, we just need to think about it in a bit more depth before we go. So I did the worst thing in the world, where I just ignored that.
Just put it on there.
And I was like, it's my company anyway. I'll just do what I want. I put it up, and I was like, tell us why we
shouldn't.
It was like, tell us why we shouldn't make this donut. And mate, it just blew up. Like, people were like, you shouldn't make this because of Madeleine McCann, blah blah blah.
What the fuck?
And it was just
What's
when
the tenuous thing
it
there?
went like people were getting like racist, and it
What?
was like
Peoples?
like it was
People
just
get angry.
People are
Very
fucked.
quick.
That's why.
Yeah, and then people
They
started
calm
arguing on
their
your
farts.
socials, and then like your page is like starts trending because people are arguing, and I was like,
It's
wow,
all negative.
Like, so we took it down.
Shit.
And the next day I had a meeting with the other director, the marketing manager, the area manager, and the markets and events manager. And they just literally sat there and just gave me the biggest bollocking. And I walked out.
You should have just released it and called the controversial Doughnotts.
That's a great show. I like that.
and they just sat there and had a go at me. And I just walked out. And I was like, no disrespect, but they were saying like, oh, we don't want to be associated with a company that kind of promotes that kind of stuff. And I was like, first of all, who the fuck are you talking
I'm
to?
so
Gherkin on.
confused.
Yeah,
How it
like,
tipped scale. How did it tip scale though? Where did the people start thinking it was?
Yeah,
racist
how did it get
and-
racist
Because
and then
like
get
people,
what's the
because I said, why? Give us your best reason why we shouldn't make this donut.
Right.
And then people started bringing up like everything, just
Oh my
random
God.
stuff, and
That's
it just
weird.
and it spiraled out of control. It got like 3,500 likes.
But
and
that's not like
that's not me like doing
Yeah,
it.
but
do you know what I mean?
it's not normal.
And I'm
either,
so I'm so sorry, but do you know in marketing sometimes it pays to
I
be
was just
risky.
gonna say-
No, you're right.
Do you know
yeah,
what I
yeah,
mean?
you're
Like,
right.
Is
Yeah.
there really
sometimes-
such a thing as
Yeah.
bad publicity?
You want omelets, break eggs.
There's a famous powerlifter called Scott Mendelsohn, and he always says that bad publicity or good publicity is publicity.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
right.
what I've heard.
You know, Pret killed someone,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but you don't start going into the stores,
Yeah.
and they're all over the news,
Yeah.
and every Pret you go into, they're absolutely rammed. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's
If they're
kinda
not
like,
talking about you, you're not doing it right.
exactly, yeah. So
So
and
they all got fired, and you
no,
just
no,
started
no,
doing your
no,
own-
no, they're still here. But yeah, it was kind of like I don't know. I get really impatient with stuff, and I want stuff doing like as soon as possible.
That's normal.
It's a
Because
businessman.
That's the we didn't get to this point by being slow paced,
Exactly.
and it should never slow down.
No,
Do you know
it
what I
shouldn't.
mean?
You're right.
So,
Yeah. If it was working, don't change it.
That's it.
A green one?
A green one.
Which did we do? We did green, I think.
We
I'll
did
go
green.
red.
A
Here we
red
go.
one.
Awesome. Do you want to read this one?
Go for it. Yes. Okay. So choose a number 1 to 4.
2.
Okay. Which describes me best? A. I'm a backseat driver. B. I'm an organisational wizard. C. I'm a defender of good enough. So we've got backseat driver, organisational wizard, defender of good enough.
Do you have to be one?
Yes. That's
Closest-
how the game works,
closest to
Wade.
it. Stop
That's the
reading it.
amazing thing of learning about the archetypes. It's like, sorry, I can say one for this, but like in a bit, I'll be number.
You're like,
I'll
I'm
be
totally that number.
Yeah, I'm number 3 now, but I'll be
Yeah.
number 2 tomorrow.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Nuance.
What would I say I am?
Should we pick for Wade? I think Wade.
I think you're B.
Yeah. you've
I
got-
think you're organisational wizard. I don't think you are, but I think you are.
That's. I like what you said there.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
That's
Wade,
obvious.
what do you think RoRo is?
B.
I am, yeah. And I'm the same. I'm there like, fucking to-do list. But when I look at it, I'm like, actually, I've done loads of
I know,
shit.
yeah.
You're the same.
I think you're 3.
Are you
Yeah.
defender of good enough?
Yeah. That's been. I think that's my favourite development.
Yeah.
Is the good enough.
Yeah.
We've all been built and conditioned to feel we're not good enough, and that's
Yeah,
why
yeah,
I think most of our problems stem from that. So when you see people hammering life, always trying to achieve it, it can be great,
But it's fuel, though. I see it as fuel.
but it'll never be enough. You
No,
always
but
feel
the
No,
two
but-
type of people, though, isn't there? There's the one who runs the marathon, gets the medal, hangs it up and goes, I've done that. And there's the one who runs the marathon, gets the medal and goes, right, I'm going to do that other marathon now where I run that much. And it's the two
I
different...
think it's again, it comes back to that awareness of it though, because if you understand you're already enough, but if you want to achieve now, go
Yeah.
and achieve. But a lot of people are doing it on the premise of, I need to show people who I can
Okay,
be. And
yeah.
then that's the lack of awareness to it.
Okay,
So,
gotcha. So they're not doing it for themselves, they're doing it for...
again, I think that was a big part of me, and probably why I've got a business and all those things. So I'm happy it was a part of me, but now I understand. I don't need people's validation
Yeah,
anymore.
yeah.
And I think things stem from lack of validation. So, yeah, that's probably where I'm at. But I would like to be an organisational wizard.
I think you are. You don't realise.
Damn.
It might be a little bit
Getting better.
disorganised, but I
Is
think
that-
you're organised.
Both of you, though, did you have to develop that?
Yeah.
You see, the thing is with me, like with like the organisational side of it, I don't know whether I am that.
Yeah,
To
of
be
course you
honest,
are.
like sometimes I am, but sometimes I'm not. Like organisation, like it's organised chaos. My life,
But
That's
you
what
can't
it is.
be, you're not going to be, you know, a 10 out of 10 all the time. You can still be organised, but you might drop down to a 5. You know,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you've
You
got
can't-
to.
You
A
can't.
wizard would be a 10 out of 10 all the time.
You can't be consistently
No.
because it's exhausting.
Yeah, you got to sleep and you got to eat.
Yeah, yeah. That's the thing. Like whenever I get to a point of like, because like this is another thing that really winds me up about entrepreneurs and what you see on socials, and you know, type it on YouTube like 23-year-old CEO. Like fucking hell, CEO is a made up term. Someone said to me the other day, it's like, you're a CEO. I went, I'm not. Like,
Yeah.
what is a CEO? Like Elon Musk, he's a CEO, but he's called himself something else. Like it's crazy. I can't remember what he called
King
himself.
of the lizard
Yeah,
people.
I think it's like
or some
I
shit.
think it's like electricity lord or something like
He's
that.
a fucking nutcase.
And
Too much money.
and you know, for me, I just find that like sometimes like it's just bullshit what you see.
It is.
It's like I've been at points when I've had to work 18-hour days consecutively in the bakery and doing work at night. And I'll be honest, like I'm a workhorse. Like no one can outwork me. You've only got me for 3 days on that, and then I'm crashing. No matter how much coffee, because personal care goes out the
Yeah.
personal care goes out the window. Social life goes out the window. You stop going to the gym. You stop eating. You know what I mean? Like you stop looking after yourself.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean and stuff? And yeah, like I hate that stuff, and I just wish that like, and this is one thing I'm all about. This is why I go out to so many schools and do so many talks, because I'm so real.
Yeah, keep it real.
And I'm like, fucking hell, if I don't want to get out of bed till 8, I won't get out of bed till 8. You don't have to get up at 4 and go for a
Sit.
fasted walk.
The
And
5
do
a.m.
this.
club.
Yeah,
I'm in the gym.
yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
you're fucking
Sweatsuit
stupid.
on.
Do you know what I'd do if I got, you know what I'd do if I did the 5 a.m. club or the 4 a.m. club? By 1 o'clock, I've finished all the stuff I do. So all I do is just find more stuff to do.
Yeah.
That'd waste my time.
Yeah.
No, man, it's just, and like my mates and my missus, like they all work, so they're not free till after 5 o'clock. Do
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So what am I going to be doing?
I'm going to
man?
paint the wall.
Yeah. Like,
I'm going to scratch my eyes
I
out.
know, yeah, this is what I mean. But yeah, I just think that there's a lot of there's a lot of bullshit.
It's a
around it.
status thing, though, isn't it? That it's the whole like, oh, I'm a director. It's the whole like, oh, if I come in with that title, then people are going to respect me more. And it's like, you shouldn't. No, you should just take people on face value. It doesn't matter, because, like you said, it's all bollocks. It's all made up. It's not real.
Yeah, that's it.
I'll go and taste Wade again. I have a question. What was the moment for you where you thought, oh shit, we've got a business here?
This is working.
I think it was, I'd always kind of known it was like a business. Like, it wasn't even, I think like year 3, year 4, I brought an R8. And it was the back end. It's just the best
Nice car.
Yeah.
I know nothing.
It's a good one.
And
I
you
would
know,
have bought a donut shaped car.
yeah. But then we was off the back of doing body power, and we had a bigger queue than like Gymshark. And I was just like, what the hell? Like, I remember being a customer. I come in every year, and I'll always look at these big companies with these massive queues. And we took something like 35k in 3 days.
That's everyone's
Okay.
rest day, though, I
Yeah.
suppose. They're
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I'm resting today, so donut
And
galore.
it got to a point by like the second day, we were shifting like 300 donuts just to
Oh
pure
my
staff.
word.
We had pallets and pallets of donuts. It was crazy. But that, like, I suppose it's always a thing of like, when people start talking about starting a business, like when do you get to the point of when you can go, right, this is
what it is now.
this is something.
Yeah, this is like,
And-
it's got that status.
Yeah.
It's got that title.
I think truthfully, if it was probably my first, it was when me and Megan both left our jobs, and we were just doing deliveries and events on weekends and little markets and stuff. And then we got the first shop, and then I was just like,
This is real.
this is
Wow.
real. But it never felt
I
like,
get a buzz on that. Do you know,
Yeah.
you get this feeling
Yeah.
of, oh, I
But
like
it-
that. Yeah.
but it never felt like, I mean, mate, like, do you know if you just said to me, like, I'm so open to admit, like, we made so many mistakes. We still make mistakes.
Of course you did.
We've been someone's done us for like some money and stuff like over the past couple of days and stuff like that. It's like fraud. We can't get in touch with them. It's like $4,500 worth.
Fucking name and shame.
The company's called Walter Reed, and they basically
Walter Reed, we're coming for you.
They're rates surveyors. So they come out and go, we think you're paying too much on your rates, blah blah blah. They did it all. We were due to get a rebate back. They said you've been paying 33 grand. Rates 45, your rateable value is 45k a year on this building, blah blah blah. They came back, they was like, we've got it down to like 33 and you get like 3 years rebated back, so it'll be like 40k back. And I was like, oh my god, amazing. Turns out they've got the buildings mixed up, and Johnny Wright's across the road, that's the one that's 32,000 rateable value. Our rateable value is like £12,000, and that's why we've never paid rates, because we get small business rate relief.
And now you can't get the money back off them.
I can't get to them. I've been on the phone to them. I've been trying to call them. Like this is no exaggeration. If I
what we're gonna see.
If I ring them,
that's fine. Ring him. My thing's gone. My sound's gone. I don't.
It's ringing now. It wasn't ringing. It's literally.
Talk to them. Come on, let's have him.
So no. Every time I've rang them, it's rang twice and then cut the phone off. Rang twice, cut the phone off. I've emailed them. I said, you need to contact me ASAP. Blah blah blah. And then so that's something that we've been going through.
The hardships of business. On
Mistakes,
that note, it'd be
from
a good time to get an emotional intelligence.
Oh, you want emotional intelligence? Okay.
I think that works really well.
Okay. Choose a number between 1 and 4.
2.
2. Okay. Which motivates me most? Is it A, doing good, B, doing my best, or C, doing better than others? So we've got doing good, doing best, or doing better than others.
We're all going to be on a similar level there.
I think we might be.
Yeah, okay. Wade, I'm going to go for you for a B.
C.
I thought you would say I was C. Totally.
So doing better than others.
Yeah.
That motivates you the most.
Not in a context of like not doing better than business context.
Yes, yeah. If you've learned that, I'm going to take that and I'm going to turn it into that something better.
Not like I want to be better than everyone else.
Yeah.
It's not about that. I just want my business to be better than my competitors' business, which is business.
Yeah.
Does it ever trap you in a term? Do you look at your competitors a lot and then see them doing well?
Does cycle.
Does it ever get under your skin?
Yeah, sometimes. Like we're a very we're a plagiarized company. Like everyone who makes donuts.
Everyone's a version of
us. Do you know what I mean? Like everything we do, someone else does the same and stuff. And it is infuriating. But at the end of the day, like people say, oh, you should be flattered. Like, no, I'm not flattered. It's just pretty much annoying. I'm not really bothered about these people. It's just, because we are light years ahead of people. Do you know what I mean? And we're doing so much better than people, and we understand our business and our business model and everything like that, and some people are very new to it, and it's just like I urge people to start a business. My argument all the time is like, if like people say, oh, I could do what you do. Like,
no,
well,
you could. I want to see you do it.
Like,
I will film you.
Like,
this is where you will be.
Like, that's what I mean. Like, but no, we but that's like I've got a bit of announcement to make maybe a bit later on in the podcast about moving forward for the next step for the company. Yeah.
Nice.
You'll be the first guys to know about it.
Oh, stop the press.
Can I have that coat?
Yes.
Beautiful. Cheers.
Okay.
I think for myself, cheers, lovely. I went into poetry. That's what sort of started my journey into business or anything. And it was all from a place of need and desperation. It was me sort of channeling my thoughts. It's the first time I've ever done it. And then suddenly you're on the scene for a couple of years, and then schools are getting you in and so on. And that's where the competition come in. And I just, in something as beautiful as poetry, just seeing this ugly nature in everybody,
everything, though,
saying horrible things. And I probably stood my ground for 6 to 8 months, and like you, I had a really shit thing happen in a company with a partner, somewhere, and it was just all horrendous. I won't go through it all, talk to you about it after, but it involved football clubs and stuff.
I know.
And then, and it was just real dick moves constantly.
Yeah.
And after that, it put me back into this. I started. Do you know what's a really healthy button on social media? The mute button.
Yeah.
I've muted everybody that caused me this grief.
Yeah.
And I really focus on self. That's all I do. I'm just going to create for self, make for self, do as good as it can be, and then I hope people come on to that. Do you know what I mean? And but then, what I do like about you, you've got thirst to you that I feel like this energy.
Yeah.
And I don't think I've got as much of a thirst in business anymore, and much of a push. So sometimes I can let it procrastinate or hold back.
But you see, I'm at like I'll be honest with you, like I'm at that point now where I've had a bit of a rough couple of months, and I'm not, I lose that sometimes. But the thing that's happening with the company now, I don't know, like I've been so stressed out, man. Like people don't like when I talk about the hospitality industry now and everything like that. Like it's really not as good as what it was.
No.
Like,
it never will be. It'll be different.
I don't know. I think everything comes full circle. People are like, oh, you can get everything online. I'm like, yeah, but there's theatre to going into town. There's the theatre of walking into a shop, trying something on. Do you know what I mean? Like there is that.
People are looking for nostalgia, aren't they, nowadays?
Yeah, and I'm
how
not,
they used to feel.
But the important thing is to not persuade yourself in order to make everything seem okay, that you're blowing smoke up your own arse. Like things will get better. Like don't worry, wait, just hold out. It's like no, we have to deal with the problem that is now. That things aren't great. So what we do to fix the things?
That's a good attitude.
What's things to fix things great? Like don't ignore
adapt.
Don't ignore the numbers. Never ignore the numbers. A lot of people will turn around and go, oh, fucking hell, like things will be all right. It's half term. The kids are off. Students are away. Don't ignore the fucking numbers. What we're doing to get these fucking things back. Do you know what I mean? And that's the thing for me where I'm like, that's something that I've just, and it's so crazy. Like, so the term "don't ignore the numbers." So Tony Robbins has just started doing this like business masterclass thing. I haven't been to it. I don't know anything about it, but I saw a clip and it was for him, and it was a clip about 3 minutes long, like advertising it. For the first 15 seconds, it was like my job. It was like, this is going to turn your business round because you need to stop ignoring the numbers. Right. Switch the video off. That was it. Done in my head. That's locked in now. Don't ignore the numbers. Don't ignore the numbers.
I like that.
My friend Luigi owns he's got HMOs. He's got about eight HMOs. He does some joint ventures and stuff. So he's really clued up on property. First time meeting him, I was like, what do you go by? He was like, the one rule is we don't lose money.
Yeah.
Now, when you sit there like that and think like that, the one rule is we don't lose money. Mate, your mindset just changes completely. And I'm not like saying I'm Gary Vaynerchuk and where I'm like 15 grand fucking to talk to me for 15 minutes or anything like that. It's just not that. But you need to implement these things now before it's too late. Do you know what I mean? Is like the thing is with the whole business side of it and stuff, like, like massive tech companies in America to hit their 5% profit in their quarter, they'll fire 20 or 30 people and then rehire again in the next quarter. That's savage, isn't it? Can you imagine doing that? Because then people have kids, then people have houses.
Yeah.
Then people have, but the thing is, people also don't have loyalties.
Yeah.
As much as an amazing workplace may be, you can make it amazing. You can have sleep pods in the fucking office. You can have
bring your dog to work day.
Take a nap whenever you want. Do you know what I mean?
If people don't feel security,
if people don't feel security, people can get more money somewhere else, or work better hours somewhere else, or live a better life somewhere else. They'll do it because that's what I did with my business. I left my job to do this. Do you know what I mean? So yeah. I ramble on, by the way.
No,
I literally just go straight off the fucking bat.
It's really good for the taster session, because it's a real nice sort of business input.
Yes.
Isn't it? And this is what we're trying to do: speak to businesses and people, especially in the food industry.
Yeah.
But understanding all the sort of work that's taken. So really appreciate this. Is it a question now from you?
I asked the last one.
I did. I asked him how the business.
I thought you meant from sorry. I got confused. Okay. I want to know where you want to see your company in 5 years' time.
Sold.
You want to sell it and
So so I don't want to do this for the rest of my life.
Right, because it's stressful and
it's stressful. I've got a plan. I'm really getting into commercial property at the minute.
Okay.
Everyone loves to talk about residential property. There's no money in it. Commercial property is where it's at. I pay for take for example, for residential property, you buy a house, you buy a house, rent it out. You know, you've got someone paying, I don't know, £800 a month rent.
Yeah,
your mortgage is £400 a month. You got to take £100 off for bits and bobs. You're getting probably £200-300 a month. £3,600 a year. Commercial property, you could. I'm looking at one at the minute, and it's in Newark, and it's a shop with an estate agent in on a 10-year lease, and it's got two flats above it. Building's up for 300 grand. You need 20% deposit, so you need 60 grand plus fees. So say 5 grand, 65 grand. That building makes you 45k a year. That building is not your responsibility. If I knocked that wall down and I left, I'd have to put that wall back. My roof broke the other day. It cost me 4 grand. I had to pay to get the roof done. Nothing. It's not landlord. The whole commercial situation, or commercial properties, it's crazy because residential's in the favour of the tenant.
Yeah.
Commercial's in the favour of the landlord.
Right.
So I have to pay landlord's insurance. So I pay his insurance for him. Yeah, it's crazy. Like, and the thing is as well, the income off of that 65k that you're going to put in on this £300,000 is going to be nearly 45, 50k minus. You get it on interest only mortgage.
Yeah.
You're making 50k off investing 75k on one deal.
That's insane.
How many buy-to-lets would you need for how many buy-to-lets would you need to make 50k a year?
Yeah, and stuff breaks with them, or you got problems with the tenants trying to get them out because it you know.
The commercial side of it is so crazy. So, what do you say? Where do I see myself in 5 years?
Yes.
Yeah. So 35 is when I want to let it go. So I'm 29 now. I'm going to be 30 next month.
Good work.
That's good.
Nice work. Yeah, we didn't know that.
Yeah. So build it. Get it to where someone wants to give you 10 million quid for it.
Yeah.
Sell it. I get 50% of that. Take £4 million to my financial advisor. Just say, look, I want 150k a year for the rest of my life.
Make it happen.
Make that happen.
Yeah.
Take the other million, set myself up nice, buy myself a nice house, probably a new car or something, live my life a bit, and then I'm done.
Yeah. That's good. I like that. That's good.
Are you quite into materials? Do you like the material world?
100%.
Like
yeah.
Kylie Minogue, you know. He's a material girl in the material world.
Yeah.
As Madonna. Sometimes gets things wrong.
Podcast over. Because it is. I watched a really good video on YouTube recently. Alan Watts illustrates it and talks about it, and it's 2 minutes, and it is sort of again how we're built in a society is always looking for the next.
Yeah.
And then we go through school, and always school say to us, well, it's when you get these grades, and then you get the grades, and then they say, oh, so you can go to uni.
Yeah, it doesn't stop. It's a
you get
treadmill.
This quota, and then the guy at the end's got this bag, and he turns it upside down. He's like, where's all the other stuff? I feel the same as I felt all the way. So do you have this sort of feeling of, well, when I do get to that point, and I'm in easy street, I've got fuck you money in essence, do you have a feeling of fear to that of, but what am I going to do? Because I'm a hunter. I love going and making stuff.
So my mindset has took a real big change this year.
And I love it.
Towards the back end of last year, dead materialistic. It was all about the cars. It's all about the cars, clothes, what I was driving, where I was living, blah, blah, blah. With more stuff and more expensive stuff, you need more money.
Yeah.
And, you know, I stripped everything back. My house got broken into. My house got broken in twice in 2 weeks. They came looking for keys for my cars and stuff. So I had to sell my cars.
So they came back because they knew what you got.
Yeah, so I sold my cars. Got the 1 Series. And my whole plan and idea now is to set my future up so I don't want to ever worry. I come from a family where, you know, my mum's been disabled all her life and she's never worked, and money was always tight, and my granddad's a grafter who's made a lot of money in his life, but he didn't invest it properly. And I'm like, fucking hell, man, you're still working and you're 75. Like, what are you doing? And I'm now at a point where I want to make this security for the rest of my life. I want to be able to wake up in the morning. The biggest stress in business is finance. Even when you're Apple, Facebook lost something like 30 billion, didn't they, overnight through the metaverse thing that they were doing. He was sat there, like Mark Zuckerberg sat there crying to all of his staff. His eyes welling up and stuff. And I'm like, this is one of the richest men on the planet, and he's crying over 30 billion, which don't even sound like a lot for that kind of company. No, but this is the thing, like, for me, I want to get to a point where I'm sat there and I'm like, right, I don't need, like, this has set me up now.
Yeah. Today is my day.
Residual. Like, I'm getting paid for doing nothing.
Yeah. I can step back and do me.
And that can focus on something else. Yeah. And I'll start playing golf or something.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, do something that's for you, that's like not work, not just actually for you, that's fun, that's nice, that's just nourishing.
So it's like, like the back end of last year was really good financially for myself. Kind of squandered it a little bit, but once you've had nothing and then you get a lot.
Happens.
Why do they go to golf? What is it?
I don't know. I don't know. Hula hoops for me. It's not golf.
Get to it. I know.
I've never.
Some circus.
Yeah, I know. I think it's because it gives you time to think as well. It's very calm.
I suppose, and you do get to walk around. There's the sun, and it's an interesting sport because I don't like golf. I don't know really much about it. I know where my camera is.
I just want to make sure everyone knows.
Everyone knows this. You get to play on where other people play.
What do you mean?
Like on a golf course, but like where other famous people, other famous people.
Oh, so like, you can walk.
Yeah, like you're not going to play, let's go for a kickabout in Wembley, lads. You see what I'm getting?
No,
that's like one nice nuance it has to it.
Yeah.
Like, did that thing.
Horse riding has that. You can actually compete against the most famous people because it's based on the horse. So if they're training up the new horse, they've got to start from the ground up. So you're basically competing against the top creme de la creme.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, it's awesome.
I didn't know that.
But yeah, I mean, that's my kind of plan. That's my kind of plan.
Good to have a plan.
You know, I'm surrounded by a lot of, I mean, like, this is the thing, like, to my mates and stuff, my business is like big time. Like, I'm the one who's kind of doing it. Do you know what I mean? Like, compared to some of my friends, like some of my mentors, I'm nowhere near them. Like Aaron owns every property in Nottingham.
And that's coming back to the comparing yourself to. Yeah. I get it.
But this is the thing. Like, this is. It's
not, wanting to be as successful, not to take anything off them or crush a head.
You just like one of the things I'm talking to. I'm in talks with Aaron about now is just. I'm going to see. I was meant to go see him this week, and I'm basically like, he's huge into property, and I just want to say to him, like, take me under your wing, teach me, like, let me be your apprentice, let me just figure everything out with everything that you do. I'll stay with you every day, and I want to do this because I know I can do it. Like, because anyone can do anything, but it takes a special someone to do something big. That makes sense. Do you know what I mean? Because it's not all. Like, one thing is, it's not all like, start a business, make loads of money and chill. No, I mean, start a business, make some money, get really stressed out, figure out whether you're going to walk away or whether you're going to come back. And the mental stress of it is really hard. And this is why I want to have a life where I just...
Get fuck you money, and then spin all the plates that you actually
really want to do.
Well, it's like Tyson Fury. He just had that fight, and he came out of it, and he just says, "I'm just going to spend the rest of my days wiping shitty arses and taking my kids to school." Because he's done it. He set himself up. And
see him with Piers Morgan recently. Had an interview. That was his first interview out, but it's just such a wise man. Listening to Tyson Fury, he really means what he's saying.
That's someone who believes in himself.
What
he's sold out to himself. That's crazy. Like, there's not one point in his mind that doubts him. There's no, like, he'll never doubt himself. He knows what he's going in there to do.
It's because he's been through the pain.
He's done it all. But that's kind of where I'm at. But again, that kind of comes into play with the next couple of things that we're doing.
Oh, and you're going to reveal
one card and then
then a big reveal. And I've got one more question for you, but isn't it?
Okay.
We'll do the card first, or should I do the question first?
Let's go for a card. Oh, can't ruin the system. Right, okay. 1 to 4.
4.
Good shout. Right. Which would I like the most? A, Are eye colour changing depending on our mood? B, we could change our facial features at will. Or C, we had no need for sleep.
I know.
Okay, Wade, have you picked one?
Everyone's.
RoRo, have you picked one?
I'm done. I'm there.
Okay, I've picked. Right.
Should we all say the same thing at the same time? I'm hoping that's how it works now.
Pick for Wade.
Sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My name's Roisin and it's sleep.
Yeah.
Mikey.
No need for sleep. Okay, let's break these down. It'd be interesting to go through. So, our eye colour changing depending on our mood?
That's bullshit. I wouldn't want people to know. I already give too much away. I don't want to mood eyes.
Straight, like the interesting thing about that is like straight away what comes to me is like anger, like frustration.
That's what I mean.
If you was it, but maybe.
What if you fancied someone you
Yeah,
don't want to know?
that-
Like, shit, get the sunglasses on.
yeah.
Like, your partner's looking at you. Like, I know what that colour is.
It could help a situation.
Yeah.
That if people
Right,
can
I don't
understand
like
what
it.
you're going through, they're like, okay. back it off.
I'm really doing my best at the minute to, when I have conversations where I have to tell someone off, is to be silent and just be like, do you know what I mean? And if they had some sort of thing where it's like, fucking eyes are red, he's fucking feeling but then I suppose it could go against you because if you didn't mean it, and your eyes are just like, I don't know, went like yellow or something.
It looks great. It's
yeah.
fine.
I'd
It's
like
not fine.
in a world where I see everybody else's, where they really stand. I don't have to fish for it.
It's a
I
story,
can
innit?
understand.
Yeah.
But I don't want people seeing it into me.
No,
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I used to have cheeky like substances, I used to wear sunglasses so nobody saw what I was going through.
Sunglasses after dark.
Yeah.
Okay, B, we could change our facial features at will. Any reason for that? Any feeling?
Don't know. Maybe you want to run away and be part of the crab people.
It feels like it comes back down to that being readable.
Yeah. Or to being like infiltrating.
You're literally thinking you could look like Wade.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking. Like, so if you can change your features,
Okay.
you could like, okay, I want to look like, say if you were like a spy or something, you're like, right, I'm going over into bloody wherever the fuck, and I need to look like one of them.
If you can literally morph into somebody else, that is probably
Dangerous.
More
very, very
more my
dangerous.
decision.
Yeah.
I've got so many lives to live.
I know, yeah.
Loads of, but then again, the no need to sleep. You get to just live your life.
You get to do everything if you didn't have to sleep.
Yeah.
But if you could change your facial features, you could literally be anybody for the day.
Yeah,
That's
but you
so
still
many
got to
different-
sleep. So you
And then you'd want to sleep because you're like, that's enough of that one. Let's wake up somebody else tomorrow. I'm definitely. I've moved.
Have
I've
you
changed. Yeah, because you're allowing me to morph into somebody else.
Okay.
Every day for the rest of my life.
Okay.
I don't want to be me forever. Just no sleep. You get
no
bored at
loyalty
one
to
point.
yourself, Mikey.
Actually,
No
sleep's
loyalty to
beautiful.
yourself.
Sleep's a great part of
It
life.
is. It's great. But imagine if you didn't need to have to do it. Just how much more you'd get done, how much stuff you could do. You'd be like, right, I'm going to learn
nice-
martial arts tonight
It's
when I
nice to
should
dream
be
though,
asleep.
isn't it? And when you can do, what's that sleep where you can actually control your dreams? What's that called? Lucid dreaming.
Yeah.
Have you heard of it, mate? Have a little look up lucid dreaming.
What?
But you can be in your dream and basically it's like Inception. But imagine if you want to fly, you can go in there and start flying and seeing
That's
things.
crazy, isn't it?
Look at lucid
Oh,
dreaming.
yeah, I will do, to be fair.
Right.
I like stuff like that.
I think that was a good answer for everybody.
Yeah.
We've done well with that. What's your question for Wade?
What's your favourite flavour of donut? It's got to be asked. Come on, what kind of thing you do?
Do you know what?
went
Do you know
there.
what? I like. Do you know
Peanut
what?
butter jelly.
I like them all. Like the
No, you got to choose one. Sorry.
red red velvet.
Okay.
Red velvet.
Give me a rundown of red velvet.
Vanilla fudge frosting, and it's dipped in red velvet cake.
Yeah, it's red velvet cake.
Yeah,
Red
it's
velvet
amazing.
cake is the shit. You can't have it because of gluten, but with custard on it, it is the fucking shit.
Do you have any gluten-free options?
No.
No, yeah, you just
for
spit
Mate,
at
it's
us
just
people.
it's just no, it's just the thing is like, you know, some if you can find like gluten-free donuts and they're not, they're just brownies, and it's just
Yeah.
false advertising. I just think some things aren't meant to be messed
Yeah,
with.
it's just not for you.
Like the thing is, like, I would love to make gluten-free stuff and everything like that.
Go eat
but
some fruit.
but you know, it's the microns of the gluten in the air. It's not necessarily the ingredients. It's like you need an external bakery and stuff. And yeah, I don't know, maybe one day.
Yeah.
But Yeah.
Just not today.
I know. Leave that to like Mr. Kipling and stuff. Like them, and boys like got massive factories. Like they don't mind like.
Have you ever tried making a flavour and thought, what the fuck have we just done?
Yeah, like sometimes like you do stuff.
Burn it, kill it with fire.
I know.
In the oven.
I don't know.
What's the worst apart from the gherkin? That one.
Custard's a nightmare to work with, you know.
Is it?
People don't
Custard's
think
nice.
Custard's a bastard. Like custard separates.
I love custard.
Custard separates. Like custard separates the water from the actual
So
custard
that's the
milk.
hardest one to process through.
You can, so it's dead easy to make, but the thing is, what happens is like the water comes out of the custard and then that drips into the donut, makes the donut
makes
all
it
soggy and
soggy.
stuff.
Right,
and you start,
got ya,
you know what I mean?
right.
And then the custard changes its like viscosity kind of thing and everything like that. So yeah, just don't do it.
What's your best seller? What's everyone go?
Red velvet.
Red
Sell
velvet
more red
is
velvets than anything. Yeah, they're the
Really?
one. I remember talking about like years ago and being like, "Oh, we should put cake on a donut." Oh, no, never worked. Bang, bestseller. It's like,
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
How many different flavours have you got altogether?
So there's 18 in the stores every week.
Holy
so
shit.
There's a new menu every 2 weeks.
How fast
try
could you
one.
say it now? Could you do it in a freestyle?
What of the menu?
Yeah.
No, so this is the craziest thing. So I don't know the menu anymore. Like I don't know the menu. The bakery manager knows the menu, and
It's evolved.
Jasmine who builds our production plans, and Hannah who's on maternity leave who usually does all that. They know the flavors and they do all the flavors for us and stuff. And it's like thinking about what's trending. If May the 4th next week, so we do like Star Wars donuts and stuff. Yeah, so we do all bits and bobs like that. So
That's cool.
Have you not seen Ted when he does all the girls' names? Mary, Sarah. Have you not seen it?
I've seen Ted, but it doesn't.
It's such
None
a
of it
funny
really
film.
stuck with me.
Did you have
I
another
let it go.
question?
No, that was my question.
But you
was
had a
about
big
the-
announcement.
Big announcement time.
yeah, so
Can we have a button?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll get a button. We
So-
need a button.
we've just Doughnotts obviously has 2 directors. Megan, the other director, she left last year. She wanted to leave and everything like that. She's we've discussed it and she's coming back. So she's coming back in about 3 weeks.
Okay.
That's major news. But the next big thing is we are taking on a non-exec director. So that's someone who's coming in, who's got buckets of experience in business, going to come in, professionalise everything to take us to that next level. Gymshark was started with Ben Francis, and now there's a board of people who run Gymshark. Our business needs to do this in order for us to grow and be more professional and get to a very something else. There's no reason why this can't be everywhere in every city and around the country or all over the world. And this is something that
Or like theme parks, things like that.
So the guy who's doing it, his name's Matt, and he's so he owns the print company. I don't know if I have a box anyway. No, he owns a print company where we get our packaging from. Matt's been a mentor of mine for about 5 years now. He's in the process of like selling his printing company because he's at a point where he don't need to be there and he wants another challenge. And he approached me about it, and we sat down and discussed it. And we've got a meeting on Sunday to talk about it, to finalise everything. But I think he's coming on board and he's got contacts.
So expect bigger things.
Well, the thing is as well, like he's the one who's talks about like the property side of it. He's got a £3 million property portfolio, £4.5 million a year business, and he's definitely the next thing. He's someone who we need.
You say you're 29. So imagining young you, 15, 16, 17.
He's already young, Mikey.
Nah, this is old, man. I'm similar age. So, could you imagine you then and seeing all these people in, I'm guessing, suits and ties and looking proper and speaking jargony and so on? What would that younger self have imagined? Could you have held that situation? Would you have enjoyed it, embraced it, or would you not be that person? You've had to change over time.
I'd have been like, that's never going to be me. To be fair, I get asked quite a lot, like, what would you say to your younger self and stuff like that? Nothing. Because everything happened. To me, to this point, I won't change anything.
Could he have held the situation though? Because you can clearly hold a meeting now, and you can, you've got the badges and the notches on your belt, so you've got assurance in yourself.
Yeah.
But that self there, would you have been able to sit in a business meeting and been like, okay, I've got this idea?
I don't know. I think yeah. I've always been like this.
You've
always
had a bit of hustle.
I've always been like quite, you know what I mean, not
Gift
afraid
the
to
gab.
talk to people, do you know what I mean? And I can just crack on with it. And, you know, I think that's another thing of like why like schools and everything's so interested in me going out to see them, because
It's
like
resilience.
I am this.
Yeah.
This is me. Like, you don't have to wear a fucking suit. You don't have to drive, you know, a fucking sports car. You don't have to fucking live in a massive mansion.
Would that be a good philosophy to ingrain in a young person and coming up into business? Is be yourself as best you possibly can.
I mean, like, you know when something's wrong.
Yeah.
Do you know, as a human, you know, like my counsellor talks about it all the time, like anxiety. So I like suffer with chronic anxiety. Not to the point where I kind of like, I like some people suffer with anxiety and they're like, they can't move. Do you know what I mean? Like it comes out physical. Mine's never physical. It's always internal.
Yeah.
And we always talk about like the anxiety is, it's your body saying like something's wrong.
Yeah,
It's a warning.
Listen to it. Yeah.
And with anxiety and stuff, I think, like, I'm just going off on a tangent, but whilst it's in my head, but like with the anxiety and stuff, it's important to feel the anxiousness in order for you to make the correct decision. Like if you're in a situation where you're feeling anxious, like we've all been there, we've all been out and like doing whatever and throwing bits up your nose and everything like that and all that shit. But like there's a point where you have to, like, you know that's wrong, but you overrule it and then it feels wrong. Then it feels wrong the next day. Just the anxiety is the break. Do you know what I mean and stuff? And like that's the thing of like, I don't know what the question was to start with.
This is from your announcement.
You took it on a good path.
Oh yeah.
Keep going.
So just switching back onto Matt coming forward with Doughnotts and stuff and everything like that. I'm so excited, but I'm very nervous because, you know, he's gonna expect, like, I want to be him.
Yeah.
When I'm older, like I want to be him. Like I refer to him all the time. Like my counsellor refers to him as like my father, like because he is that kind of father figure to me. Someone who I've never had, and he's like someone who I'm like really want to be. He's just clued up. He won't ever, like, I'm selling I've just sold my house, and we were talking and that, and obviously house prices at the minute are absolutely fucking ridiculous.
They are.
I went to look around one last night. It was next to a pub. It was in this little village. It was up for like 350 grand.
And you get highballed on it, even though it's not worth what it's worth.
Yeah.
Well, it's on there. You're like, why is anyone paying this?
Well, I paid, so for my house, I paid 360 for it 2 years ago, and I've just sold it for 485. Done nothing to it. But you're like, oh yeah, buzzing, made all this money on the house.
No,
yeah, but mate, the house
like
that you're buying, it's relative. Like, so I was talking to Matt, and I was like, look,
sounds gum.
I was like, look, I'm this is my plan. I was like, I'm gonna sell my house, all the cash I've got, capital and everything like that. I'm going to keep in my bank. I'm going to move somewhere. I'm going to go rented. Somewhere nice, like a nice apartment in town or something like that. And I'm just going to sit on my money and I'm just going to watch it build, and I'm going to invest it. And I'm going to get some commercial property. And I'm going to make this 150 grand, 160 grand, like millions. And he was like, I like it.
Sounds like a plan.
He was like, do it. He was like, do it. It was like, honestly, he says like the best decision you've made.
How old's Matt?
40 odd.
Been in the game.
39, 40 odd. So Matt's got a really interesting story. So he was started off as an apprentice at a print company. Worked his way up to management level, got poached by another print company, worked his way up. Then the director says, look, I'm retiring. Do you want to do a management buyout? And it was for something like 800k. And he says, but I'm only going to sell it to you and this guy, two managers. So Matt had to find 400k. And then the other guy found 400k, and then as soon as he came out of the meeting after, they said, yeah, Matt turned around to this guy and he was like, look, I don't want you to do nothing for the next 2 years. I'll pay you 60 grand a year for the next 2 years, and I'll get you 400 grand. Just do nothing. Just come to work, just sit in your desk and don't do nothing. Start at 9, finish at 3. Done. Monday to Friday. Don't worry about doing a thing. I want to buy this company off you. Guy was like, okay. So Matt did it. He did it in like 15 months. Took it from I think it's like £1 million company or something to a £4.5 million company. It's just started a company called Go Green, which is like revolutionary. Like, it's going to change the world. Like Go Green is. So like, do you know when they plant trees?
Yeah.
You seen the like plastic tubes that they put the tree in? So people are meant to go around and clean them up after these snap, and then they break off when the tree gets so big. a lot of time people don't go pick them up. They just end up going into landfill, and like they're meant to be recycled. And it's like it's the part of like forestation that like everyone's like, oh yeah, buzzing, we're planting more trees, and it's just like you are, but you also kind of
putting this around, because what you're wrapping them in,
yeah.
yeah.
So Matt invented this thing.
Irony.
Matt invented this biodegradable cardboard cone that lasts for 5 years.
Oh,
That in
wow,
5
so it
years,
just
shoots up, it just goes into
it just
the ground.
dissolves into the ground, and it's full of
so
like
no one has to
minerals.
pick it up,
and-
no one
yeah,
has to.
no.
Oh,
And,
nice.
that's awesome.
He makes like 50p per one, and
You
he's
could have
like
made
cat
that for like
size.
Yeah.
things to eat out of.
Well, he's just made
like trays and stuff.
he just had an order or something for like 2 million of them.
Wow.
From-
I always think that, do you know, with like things like cat size in the road,
Yeah.
you just think that's
One guy made that, didn't he?
Yeah.
One guy made
yeah.
cat size, and that was it. He invented cat size. Now he gets like patent on all of them.
That's
Yeah.
mental.
50p per one.
Yeah.
50p.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
But
But
Yeah, when you drive over them.
yeah, but
What's his cash being counted?
he's coming on board.
I'm
He's coming on board.
really excited for you, man.
I am,
Sounds
and then,
like
I am, and
elevating.
do you know what I am, and I'm really excited because it's been very stressful the past couple of years. You know.
It's paying off.
Yeah, well,
It
yeah.
is. Believe.
You know, you
It is.
have good months, you have bad months.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But we've just had a couple of bad months, and you know, like first of all, there was obviously all the COVID stuff, and it's like, oh yeah, we're allowed to go out of the house and everything, and then it's like buzzing, and then next thing it's like there's a war going on, and where does everyone get the flour from? It's Ukraine and Russia, and it's just like things just get more and more expensive.
Did you find an innovative way in COVID times to deal with the business, go door to door or anything like that?
Yeah, so we started doing the shipping side of it, the donuts delivered, so you could get it through the post and stuff.
Awesome.
Really good. It's backed off now, like massively.
Yeah.
Like we were doing like 40k a month on that, and
That's
then like
mad.
now it
It's a
stands
great
like
idea though.
yeah,
People have a little family night. They've
Yeah,
got the
yeah.
donuts with
yeah.
spreading the happiness, baby.
Yeah, and but yeah, it's like that's died off now. But we were wanting to restart. That's the whole thing with Matt coming in. Like Matt for me, Matt's one of these where he don't take excuses on. Do you know what I mean? He's
What's
like
the solution?
yeah. He's one of these where he's like, well, if you were selling 40k's worth, then why are you only selling 5k's worth? And his response, like he'd come up with a solution.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's
Just repackages it to you. So
He just, you know, everything that. Because I said to him, I was like, where can you see us in the next year? And he was like, 50% on your turnover.
dude,
100%.
I hope there's a lot of like businessy people watching this podcast.
Yes, come along. Give us some advice.
Should we do like one more question?
Go for it.
Last question.
Last question.
Beautiful. Right. It's not kill the routine. 1 to 4.
1.
Right. Okay. What am I most protective of? My past, my dreams, my secrets.
I know what you might be.
Yeah, I've picked.
I know what I'll be.
Yeah. Should we pick for Wade?
Yeah.
What
you
we're
can
saying?
pick. I'm not sure.
I'm gonna go with A.
A,
I
which
think
is
past.
past.
Yeah, protective of past. You are protective of C, your secrets.
Yes.
Yeah. And me? What do you think?
I think I know which one you are.
2.
It's dreams. Yeah. Where are you going?
No, I'm not
No.
dreams. No, I'm gonna start to be more open and honest about that. Probably secrets.
Is it?
Yeah, secrets.
Secrets file, buddy.
What were you, Wade?
1.
Did we get you?
You're going
I
right.
think- yeah, past.
Yeah, my past, yeah.
Aw.
Yeah, do you, because you go into schools, don't you?
Yeah.
Teach business.
Yeah.
Do you use the past as a bit of a way to energize them?
Yeah,
and say,
so like my past, like I don't really, to be honest, like I don't really talk that much about my past and stuff. But so I was huge at one point. I was like 25 stone.
dude.
And I nearly had a heart. Well, basically, I nearly had a heart attack. But you can't. They won't tell you you've had a heart attack until you've had a heart attack because they don't know that you've had a heart attack.
Right.
They can't say, "Oh, you was about to have a heart attack." Like I had the symptoms of a heart attack. Because
So you've got to have the heart attack to have the heart attack.
yeah, they can't
Okay,
go.
yeah.
'Cause it's
I
like me sat here
understand,
now
yeah.
going, "You might have an heart attack in
Yeah,
a minute, but
yeah.
you won't." Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They don't have a way of measuring it.
No, so
that's
they do ECGs and everything, but I had every symptom to say that something was not right, like pain in the arm, like everything like that. Because I was a big guy. I'm short. I had like a 58 inch waist at one point and stuff. I used to power lift, and a set. I've got like I think it's like 6 or 8 world records in powerlifting in Iowa, so International All-Round Weightlifting Association. That's some like mad lifts, like where you one arm snatch as much as you can and everything like that. And then and then I nearly had a heart attack, and then I was fine. And then like a couple of weeks later, it happened again, and the doctor turned around to me and was like, "Look, I can't tell you you're gonna have one until you have one." He said, "But what I can tell you is you're way too much for your age.
You need to do something."
So I went on a mad diet, crash diet.
Put on Rocky.
Yeah, put on Rocky. Yeah. So I was my peak. I was 24 stone 4, and I lost 12 stone in a year.
Oh, good on you, mate. That's good.
But when losing that amount of weight in a year, I had binge eating disorder. I had like traits of anorexia and stuff like that. I was tiny. And then I had like obviously like loose skin and stuff. And I've just finished. When was it? 20 days ago, I just had my last cosmetic surgery to get my loose skin. So I spent 14k on cosmetic surgery since last September.
Get it out. Yeah. Get it.
That's good.
So I don't have nipples anymore. I had my nipples removed.
Right.
Because of my loose skin. If they try and graft your nipples back on, they can fall off.
Yeah.
But throughout school and everything, bullied all my life. Mum was in hospital from day one. Like, was brought up by my nana and granddad. Dad just nowhere. Mum remarried to some very, very toxic men. Do you know what I mean? Not her own fault.
Yeah.
It's really painful actually, because like my mum was disabled. They knew she was disabled.
Oh dear.
So my mum was at a point where she was going to get worse. They knew she was going to get worse, but they then married her. Like, caused mum to nearly be bankrupt and everything like that. And yeah, just a real rough time growing up, like to the point where I can't remember stuff. And this is what my counsellor talks about.
There's a reason. Yeah.
Like, talks about it like...
And generation.
You'll ask me stuff about when I was a kid, and I'm like...
I
don't know.
Yeah.
And he was like... Have you been watching, like... Have you watched Moon Knight?
No.
You watched Moon Knight? I'm thinking... So Moon Knight's on Disney Plus. It's Marvel stuff. It's amazing. He's got a split personality. So he used to get beat by his mum. So he used to flick into his personality where... he thought his mum loved him. So when she would beat him, it would be like she loved him.
She's hugging him.
Yeah. And then he switches back into his actual character where he resents his mum and everything like that. And
what's that called?
Moon Knight. It's amazing.
Because that's like that Paul Coate thing I was talking about, characters.
Yeah,
You get treated a certain way, and then you flick into this character switch.
And
fascinating.
It was like the previous episode was yesterday, and I watched it and I was like, wow, this is amazing. Like, my counsellor and stuff, he always says to me about it, or like, like I really want to dig deep. Like, we got to a point, like I've been with him now for like 7 months, and we got to a point where
You're still with him.
What, the counsellor?
Yeah, that's
good.
Yeah,
it's amazing. He's so he's addiction counselling, but like my addictions work. So like this is where me and him work really well together. Just growing up, just like bullying, just like some weird times, like anxious to go out of the house when I was younger and stuff like that. And now I'm here, and I just, I don't think, I don't sit there and go, my past made me. Like, I don't sit there and be like,
no,
it's because I had this shit that I'm like now like this. You know what I mean? It's not like that at all. It's just like, well, I just got on with it.
Yeah.
Like, when you get bullied every day, you just get bullied every day, so you just think that's the norm. And yeah, just real. Probably didn't say I'd probably say I didn't start enjoying my life until I started the business, because I finally had a goal and I finally had a path,
purpose,
and that's why you're addicted to the work as well.
That's why I'm addicted to the work, and but like I will be honest, like
I noticed your tattoo as well. It says work on your knuckles.
It's work hard, and but that's why I'm really really buzzing about Matt coming on board, because I will be so honest with you. Like, I've lost myself over the past couple of months. Not lost myself as, I'm just like in a weird place. It's just I've lost the drive for it, because things aren't as exciting as what they usually are. Like, it is harder than what it was before. So, but now, like, I'm excited to get the team back together. I'm excited to start all over again. But I've just, the whole thing, like the whole thing about my past and stuff, like, I always talk about it, but I always talk about it so fast and get it
Yeah,
over
yeah,
and done with.
spent.
Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah,
oh yeah,
it's
you
done.
know,
You know that
past
now. Yeah,
There's
yeah,
so much more to it and stuff, but
Yeah.
like,
I'm looking forward to seeing you develop as a person.
yeah.
And
So like, I don't know, like what don't like break you make you, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like that's my thing. But
there's a lot of teachable things within
yeah.
our past
Yeah.
in any way. If it's been good,
Yeah.
if it's been bad, whatever
Yeah.
it's been, a lot of the gems do lie in there subconsciously.
They are,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
That's
Come
why you
out
shouldn't
into-
change
Yeah.
it. And people are like, what would you change? I was like, I
So-
wouldn't change anything.
So it was like last year as well. Like I've kind of always known something was a little bit off with me. Like I kind of always knew that I ran like 1,000,000 miles per hour and
The best
people
man.
thinking. And so I got diagnosed with adult ADHD.
I've got ADHD.
And I love it. Like it's amazing. Like you can take like the doctor said you can have medication and stuff, and I'm just like, nah, I'm cool, man.
Yeah.
Like I like it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna channel
Yeah.
this.
And I did a business talk at Central College on last Friday, and there was a kid there, and he kept asking questions, and he was smiling constantly, and he was so buzzing. And I told him about the ADHD, and then afterwards, the teacher came up to me, she says like, he's got ADHD.
Yeah.
And the fact is that you've built yourself up to be something like this.
Yes.
It gives him so much hope
Yeah.
because he thinks it's a bad thing.
Yeah.
And I was just buzzing for that. I was just so buzzing for that, and I just like that's the thing with like when I'm talking, like my mind just flutters off because I'll be thinking about something else whilst I'm talking.
Yeah.
Yeah. So using it as a superpower, isn't it?
Yeah. And it fucking like it gets you in the shit sometimes.
Oh,
'Cause,
yeah.
like sometimes like there's a guy. So I started as the way I got diagnosed with it. I started following this guy on Instagram called Kobe Watts, and he's Australian and he's got ADHD, and he talks about he does like ADHD paralysis, where sometimes like you run at 1,000,000 miles per hour, but sometimes you can just stop and then you just sit there for the next 4 hours and you just sat on your phone, and that's ADHD paralysis. You just don't want to move anything, but then straight away, like multiple tasks going on in your head. Like I've got 2 drinks here and stuff like that. It's these crazy things that like I want water, but I want that as well.
Yes.
And he kind of like
Everything's a buffet.
yeah, and everything. And he showed like from watching his Instagram stuff, and that's when I found some help, and then I just went and that was it. Like overweight, grown up with ADHD, just now runs a.
Mate, you're fucking
pick up-
smashing it.
Yeah. There's hope for us.
No, there is.
You've had a real good insight to the whole business and the man behind it, which has been absolutely fantastic.
Oh god.
Shall we end it on sort of
on a massive high?
I'll end it on a note, like if you could just give a bit of advice. So this camera here, but just to young people getting into business, any philosophies, any thoughts that you'd impart to them?
Don't look too much into business because it will scare you off. Don't type in on Google, I want to start a business or something like that, because that will make you not want to start a business because of everything. It's like, because all you get is like stuff coming up about accountants and like
it's like have the good idea.
Find something you like doing, be realistic on how much you want to make, what's good enough for you. If you want to own a business, there's people who jet wash drives, who like do driveway cleaning, that make 100k a year. The business makes no money, but they make 100k a year, living the best life. Do that. Your business don't have to make loads of money. It just if it just gives you a life where you have a bit of freedom, where do you know what I mean? It's like, but if you are intending to start a business to give yourself a bit more time and just not be dictated by the man, like work this time till this time, do that, but never get yourself to a point where it's like, I finish work by 12 o'clock, so what shall I do? I tell you what, I'm going to start doing some more work, and then I'm going to make it bigger and bigger, because then you lose your main goal. Do you know what I mean?
Remember your why. Stick to the why.
But be realistic with yourself. Don't blow smoke up your ass, and don't ignore the numbers. That's the biggest thing.
I think that is like your takeaway. Don't ignore the numbers.
But and I suppose as well, like for me personally, like I took my business for granted like a couple of years ago, because everything's easy, and the money's just coming in, and like you don't have to work that hard for it and stuff. And then all of a sudden, now it's like fucking hell, it's solid, and like it's just like I was talking to the lad at work, I was talking to Ash upstairs about it. Like, when you're playing like a PlayStation game and it's on like the worst difficulty and it's fucking solid, and you're grafting on it all night and you just can't get through it. Like Like, there's no way of you completing this. But then you wake up in the morning and your first bash on it, you get it. It's a business.
Yeah.
That's all it is. You're constantly going away from stuff. But it never seems to go your way. And then all of a sudden you wake up the next day.
It's the repetition is the teacher of all.
Yeah.
I wrote a song on it called Master Plan, but it was all a metaphor. Tekken.
Yeah. But that's my thing. Don't listen to people. Don't listen to people who've, like, because you imagine me coming in at 21, being in a marketing apprenticeship, having some sort of thing and going home to my mum going, I think I'm going to start making some donuts.
Yeah.
And now look, you know what I mean?
Sat in this beautiful place together.
Nan, can I borrow?
But yeah, I mean, keep it to yourself. I think people are out there to plagiarize an idea now. Build up your contact list. Do you know what I mean?
Network.
You'd be surprised how many business owners, like, do you know if someone sent me an email and it was someone who wanted to start a business, young person or whatever, like, I'd more than meet them for a coffee to talk about it, because I'm like Matt. Like, what I am to Matt, I want to be to other people. Do you know what I mean?
Because you want to be like him. Yeah.
It's like my dentist. Like, he works at the practice and stuff, and I'm like, Saturday, and I'm like, you're really good at this, you know. And I was like, what do you mean? I was like, you know, like, doing what you do. I was like, you made me feel really welcome. I was like, you know, I could walk out of here and you could say to me that the bill's £600 and I wouldn't bat an eyelid, because I know.
Smile whilst paying it. It's worth it.
And I was like, you could do this on your own. Open up your own practice. Oh man, I don't know. And I'm like,
it's just, he's not got the. He needs the drive.
But you know, that's the thing. That's what I want to do in my life. Just kind of, I want to kind of make my money, chill, relax, and then, because I've been like, like Stephen Bartlett. I got a story about Stephen Bartlett, between me and Stephen Bartlett. Like, this is a mad story. So the Stephen Bartlett's up there with, for me, with like the Gary Vaynerchuks and stuff, where this should be your business. You should be relentless. You should be doing all this. You should work 20 hours a day, blah, 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 and all this. And I've met Stephen Bartlett. I met him in an airport. I was flying back from New York. I was at JFK, and he was in the first class lounge. And he walked by me, and I saw him go to the toilet, and I said to my missus, I was like, that's fucking Stephen Bartlett. I was like, and she was like, who's that? And obviously I'm like into this kind of shit, do you know what I mean? And I was like, he's like the entrepreneur of the year, like going on Dragon's Den, like the guy's amazing. And he walked by, and I was like, I'm gonna like talk to him. And I tried to talk to him, and he just like fobbed me off.
Aww, he's a dickhead.
So I sit there and I'm like, mate, do not be giving this thing about trying to give advice to people and not being approachable. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is your brand. Like, you are the guy. Do you know what I mean? And
he could have even had that honesty of, oh mate, I've had about 15 conversations today. I'd really not about having another one. Is that okay with you? And that's all it takes.
And do you know what as well? Like, I've emailed. He's doing these business podcasts and stuff, and I've emailed him. And messaged him on Instagram and everything to say, you know, I'd love the opportunity to come on and talk and be real with like a real small business, because you've got Piers Morgan on there, you got all these fucking boys who are just massive.
Yeah, the big boys.
Yeah, like, you know, Ben who owns Gymshark. You've got all these amazing entrepreneurs who've like made billions.
Yeah.
Well, what about when they were making 2 million quid?
Yeah, the ones who will eventually get there as well.
Yeah. Like let's like, do you know what I mean? So I'm constantly trying to.
He's not responded.
He's a busy guy, and he's got like 1 million followers, so like sometimes he might not. It's really hard to get.
Mate, hope you're listening.
Imagine if I went on there, personal branding straight away.
I think you might get it out of this podcast.
I know, yeah, there we go.
Stephen Bartlett.
He's a regular listener.
Yeah. But
tag him.
But but it's just that's kind of my advice anyway. Like, I don't think you have to just be an absolute powerhouse.
No,
be
real.
You're allowed to feel like shit. You're allowed to cry sometimes.
What are you doing it for? I really like that. I think that works.
Yeah. What are you doing it for now? You know, things change.
Yes.
Like, and this is another thing as well, why people need to start a business early, because you'll put yourself off because of commitments.
Yeah.
Kids,
because other things will come up. Yeah.
I had nothing to lose.
Yeah.
I had a car on finance. I was staying with my missus. Like, we were living at her mum's house. We had nothing to lose, not a thing to lose. And
that's sometimes the position you need to be in to go forward.
Well, anything more than £100 a week was going to be amazing, wasn't it?
Yeah,
So I'm doing it for myself.
Yeah.
Do you know what a lot of people struggle with? They go, oh, I don't know what I want. I don't know what I want. You go, well, write down a massive list of what don't you want.
Yeah.
And if your huge list is, I don't want to be waking up at 5 a.m. I don't want to be missing family time. I don't want to be this.
Then you find out what you do want.
You might get to this point where it's like, well, a business might not even suit you, and that's fine. You could find something within the realm of the world that suits all the needs that you do want. So
there's a guy who I've just started following on TikTok, and he's a marketing manager for this huge like top 50 company in America or in the world or something. And his day is crazy. It's like gets up at 4 a.m, goes for a 2-mile walk around the block, comes back, trains, eats. He's like loves protein bars. That's all he eats in the day, and he eats the same salad at lunch, and then he has like 3 protein bars throughout the day.
That's ADHD. I'm having the same thing to eat for the next 4 months, and then I'm going to hate it.
And he does that, and then he's just got such a good balance of you know, I mean, he goes there and he talks. Like, I watched a thing about him, and he put it on his Instagram, he put it on his TikTok last night of him holding this. He got this. He was reading like the New York Times and that. And there was a little thing at the bottom, and it was a cartoon, and it was like a stressed out director sat there, or like company CEO, and he's just like drained. But then there's this guy like sat dead perky like in front of him, like trying to get this job, and the guy was just like, he was like, well, maybe we could use an idiot, and that's how he got the job, because he was so brash and he was so like loose, and he was just like driven and stuff. And now like he was annoyed because he wanted his boss's job. His boss left, and then they brought someone else in with 10 years worth of experience. But he turned around and he was like, I've learned so much with him in 2 years than I would have done. He was like one of the, what was he saying? He was like one of the only 100 workers in New York who was still going to the office every day during the pandemic.
Aww.
Yeah, he was still doing that every day.
Wow,
which is crazy. But,
it's crazy.
Oh mate, animal.
Yeah.
But he's massively into like, you could tell he does well for himself.
Yeah. I bet.
He's got a basement. It's just full of like everything Supreme and stuff like that. But he's like, this guy's wearing a suit, like walking like Wall Street and stuff, and he's just got a pair of Supreme like Air Force Ones on, and you're like, yeah, he's a boy.
Man, that's the guy I've been navigating.
Yeah.
Mate, thank you so much for being on this
No worries,
podcast.
no worries.
I really enjoyed it.
Good.
It's been great.
Tell everybody, again, this camera if you want, where they can go and find all your stuff.
So it'll be Doughnotts Official on Instagram. Just type in doughnottsofficial.com. Wadey_Doughnotts for my own personal stuff. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Navigate towards those Instagram posts, and
You'll find everything
You'll find everything out about my life, because I'm like, because I'm trying to really at the minute build myself as a personal brand and let people know that it's not all swings and roundabouts. Do you know what I mean? And people love it. People love to see shit. Like
they do.
People love to see how bad it is.
Yes.
You know, like
people love misery.
Yeah. Like I put what did I do? I put something on, and it was about me going to look at a new house. No, it was about me selling my house. And I was just being a moaning bitch. I was just like moaning. But then it was like, no one's really bothered about that. But then I was like, oh, I'm going to buy this other house, and I'm going to do it up, and I'm going to do this. And people are like, oh, let's see it. And I'm like, you're not there for when it's bad.
You're not. Yeah, no.
You're not. You just want to see the shit. Do you know what I mean?
Do. Yeah.
And I often test it as well. Like
People
I put something on my Instagram last night about made the biggest business decision of my life. Blah blah blah. And people are like, oh my god, you're selling it, going mad. And I'm like, no, I'm not selling it. I was like, something big is happening. And I just thought, you never want to see people do well.
The wins.
No, people don't. No.
And it's terrible.
Like soap operas and shit like that. They like all the bad stuff.
And it's terrible, man. It's terrible. Like,
I suppose it is a lot of anger held in
it's
people.
the dark side of
wishing
humanity, isn't
they
it?
could
But
do a similar thing.
But maybe there's the side of it where subconsciously people don't think about it in that way.
I think they want to inflict their shit on other people.
Yeah, but as well, like when you are happy and when it's amazing and everything like that, maybe the side of it is that people can see that you're happy and see that your life's amazing at the minute, so they don't need to intervene. Whereas when it's terrible, is everything right? What's wrong?
That's a nice attitude towards it.
There's a way of like we we only think about our own perspective, but we're not everyone, are we?
Well, there's stories that we tell ourselves. So what are other people actually going through?
There's either that people actually, you know...
There's envy in the world. So it's a natural emotion. And it does spread to jealousy. And maybe the jealous ones are the more hyperbole. They'll be involved in it. They want to let you know and send the jabs.
And if a lot of people are there, when you got to think about it as well, a lot of people, if they are there to kind of see fails and kind of they're like, oh, is everything all right? What's happened and stuff? You have got to think about, if I get loads of DMs about that means that a lot of people care about me.
Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah.
And that means I'm doing the right thing. Yeah. Because people do care about me. Like the guys in the office and everything like that, everyone cares about me. Like, and I care about them, and that's the main thing, isn't it?
It was weird for my journey with music though, because and maybe it's just social media changed as well, but I was getting lots and lots and lots of views, and it was going crazy. And then the second I started doing well in terms of going into schools all the time, performing on massive stages or whatever it was, it started on social media. It was nice going out and meeting people and like, you're doing so well, I was seeing it. But they weren't doing the sharing anymore.
Yeah, no, I noticed that when you start to do better, it kind of comes down. You're like, is that trying to stop me? Like they're trying to like, well, stop you doing too well.
They've put the work in, then, haven't they? Like they've already put their bit in. People used to do it all the time with us donuts. Like all our friends and family used to order donuts and stuff. Now they don't go in. Do you know what I mean? Because they want to
set you on the journey.
Yeah,
I like that. That's
they want to set you on the
attitude. It's flipping things around.
Yeah, they want to like. They want to give you that push off, do you know what I mean, and stuff. And then, but sometimes, you know, you need to go back and, like, I'll often, like, put on my socials, if it's shit, I'll be like, it's fucking shit at the minute. So if you want to go in and buy a donut, like, please help us out. Do you know what I mean? And stuff.
Keep it real.
And then, boom, I'm getting tagged in stuff left, right, and centre. People going into the stores and stuff. And I'm like, you know, because we do so much for charity, you know, like, so much for charity. Like, the whole thing about, like going into Central College, the woman turned around to me. She was like, you know what? We had one guy who came to do a business tour, and he was like worked in a library. She was like, you are
the only person,
like the breath of fresh air. And she was like, and you come from one of Nottingham's like most renowned, not biggest, but most well-known companies. Do you know what I mean? It's like Experience, a Nottingham company.
Yeah, no, it is. Yeah,
it's fucking crazy, isn't it? They're all over the world.
There,
Boots.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? Like,
Feastonia.
Mate, I know. But
Yes. Have you got anything to finish us on as well with the taster sessions? Do you need to let people know where they can go for that? This Sust, what is it?
We've got Sust, so we've got our you can save some money if you buy some stuff from Sust. So today we've used their Inconvenient Truths. Oh, I need to leave that flipping wire alone. And we've used the Emotional Intelligence. And what we're doing next month is we've got the actual brains behind the games, and he's coming on and he's going to basically talk us through it, and we're going to play some with him. So we'll find out more about that there. So that's going to be our next
Brains Behind the Games.
Podcast. That's in June. That's
when just came out with that.
Come up with this stuff. It's just one of my jobs.
Again, thank you for coming on, my friend.
Thank you very much.
I appreciate it.
It's been taster sessions.
Nice,
yes.
Nice.
Peace and love, guys.
Bye.
See you later.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Taster Sessions podcast. We hope you enjoyed it. Please leave us a review on our Spotify.
If you're watching this over on YouTube, then if you want to give us a like, a subscription and a share, that would be great as well. You can also suggest anyone that you'd like us to taste on our show.